Hey there, I'm Tracy Rigdon, and this is the Contrast Project Lounge podcast. Often random, but always relevant, always real, and practically nothing is off limits. This podcast is for you. Are you ready for this? Let's do it. Welcome back to the program, guys, and thank you so much for joining us here on the Contrast Project Lounge podcast. Tonight, we've got a very special guest joining us, Mr. Al Emerick, and as always, my co-host, Jim Alabiso. Jim, how are you doing?
I'm doing just fine.
Oh, there he is.
I have my cat with me, and Al's here.
He's doing.
And it just doesn't get any better than that.
Immediately, I'm the least coolest guy in this show because the shades.
No,
you
there's
got
no
the
way
hat.
that's even. No. Look at this guy. You tell me he's the least coolest guy.
Right?
Come on.
I know.
Give me a break.
Can you give me a cutout of that? Like, those round cutouts? And I'm just going to walk around just do that.
There you go.
Hi, is
do
that
that.
Al? What is wrong with that guy?
Al, thank you so much for joining us tonight.
Yeah, man.
How have you been, buddy?
Man, that's a question that I take very seriously because I think when you ask somebody, how you doing? So I'm going to give you the answer in truth. The answer is most of the time I'm like, oh, awesome. I've had some really just, this sucks. This is not good. Very little So I would say the average is, yeah, pretty good. Awesome.
Do you always say it in a high voice?
Yes. Yeah. It's very uncomfortable when I'm introduced to people because depending on where I am, it's like, hey, how you doing?
I'm doing just fine.
You say that, but it's really funny. I was thinking when you said that, there are some black comedians that will tell you, they will tell you a black woman, she goes deep when she's pissed. Yeah. And a black man goes high when he's upset about something. He goes, and the woman goes, oh, let me tell you something.
I'm going to have to remember that because I can bring my voice down. So maybe I'll just do the whole interview down here.
We can use our radio voices there.
The radio voice.
Oh, I will. My friends will tell you, I will toss a voice out anytime you want it. So anyway, I'm good. And apparently Cujo is joined us on the show too. Thank you.
Cujo, Sky's over there. Sky, what are you doing? Sky, come meet Al. Yeah.
Hey. I think, Jim, you wanted to go somewhere with this. You wanted to ask Al something.
Yeah, I just kind of had a little historical perspective just on our relationship. And this has nothing to do with it.
No, not at all. Not at all.
So, but this does have something to do with it. You
God.
knew this was going to come up.
Hey, that is beautiful. Not the picture, but that show. And I wish that show was still around, and I wish you were still doing it. And that was a great moment in time.
It sure was, and I have to kind of look at it that way because it was a great moment in time. I don't know if I'll ever do it again. We talk about it occasionally, maybe doing an annual one. Yeah, it's just like you were saying about, doing 10 hours. It's like it was just too much.
Yep.
So when we were talking, about maybe doing it once a year for maybe a WJCT money raising event, and I only have to produce it one time a year. So that would be good. But there was a couple important shots here, aside from you, being an important shot, but there was this important shot over here. Do you remember her?
I'm looking. I don't know if it's changed yet.
He's pulling it up.
Valerie Bowman.
Oh, yes. Oh gosh. Oh my
right?
gosh. Yes. That's
So Valerie Bowman writes romance novels, okay, and she's got quite a few out. She's a bestseller, and in like 7 different languages around the world. So she was on our show the same night that Al was on.
Yes.
So after we finished our interview with Valerie, Al saw the book sitting on my little table behind the desk, and he picked it up and he started reading the dirty parts.
I did. And
that's like very Al.
it was an impromptu moment.
Oh yeah, look at that. Nice.
Yeah.
Oh.
So that was kind of a cool thing about that. That was a lot of fun. But also, you rapped for us.
I did.
What was the rap about? Do you remember?
Oh, I have no idea. I don't remember.
Some about love?
It might have been love. I can honestly tell you, Tracy, here's the problem. I've been given the curse and the blessing of improvisation. So here's the blessing. The blessing is, to this day, I still call friends and I leave them impromptu birthday songs on their phone that are just some random song that I sing. The curse is when there's a public gathering and there's a microphone and music, I can't help myself. So
I know.
So there you go.
So, and then one other thing, we've shown this picture before because we've had some of these guests on the show, but I also wanted to point out.
Yeah.
That
Jimmy.
That was fun, wasn't it? This was our cast.
That's a
This was our cast for All the Angels Come, and we were all sitting in Babs' lap because Babs was our director, right? And you see Mal Jones in the back, right? We've had him on.
Yeah.
There's some great friendships that have sustained. I mean, just had Mal on my the show that we're going to be produced, a podcast. Mal and I have stayed in touch, of course. But anyway, there's some good friends in there, and you put together a great show that you wrote.
It was so much. Well, it wasn't just me. There was like this whole team of people. But on All the Angels Come, do you remember what part you played?
God, no, I don't.
You played a police officer.
Okay. All right.
Yarborough. We called him Sergeant Yarborough, right?
That's right. Yeah.
And when I wrote the book and the play, I kept it at Yarborough because I was poking fun. It was kind of satirical at Councilman Yarborough, who was the guy that didn't want the pregnant lady picture on the couch at Mocha.
Exactly.
Right? So I just had to use his name just to some people get it, some people don't. But so anyway, but that was a great job, and we've had a lot of fun together over the years and stuff. So
meeting you was like ignition to the creative juices, and I mean, no, seriously, Jim. I mean, it's just one of those. Hey, we keep dancing in and out of each other's lives at different periods, but it always comes back to something that is fun, is creative, and I get to meet somebody new, like meeting Tracy, and even though we've met before.
It's all fun.
You know what, Al? I totally agree with you. Meeting new people. When I ran into this damn Jim Alabiso guy. It was really one of the high points of my life. And I've had a lot of, really high points, but Jim sits right in there in the top 10. Let me, he does.
Only the 10. I was hoping to get 3.
You're in the top 10, buddy. Now, Al, I'd like to move forward. Let me ask you, you've said, that we have the wrong definition of value. So what, in your opinion, and if we start talking about value mapping, which you have founded, what is the definition of value?
Yeah. Well, first of all, thanks for that. I knew it was coming, and it's always a question I love, and it's always a Pandora's box with people, because first of all, when you just think about like what is value, it's a broad question. this is a podcast, so I'll keep it short. Years and years ago, I'm in radio and television, and I had the blessing to do production, and when I was writing commercials and such, I didn't see what the salespeople saw. The salespeople saw the revenue, the tickets that they were going to sell to a show, whatever. I saw a human being that was putting their life on the line to build a business. And so I asked them, I was like, hey, what's the value of this thing that you're creating? And I would just kind of get this, the value. I mean, it's like, we're going to make money. But yet the blood, sweat, and tears that they put into this thing was so much more about the money. Over the years, working with nonprofits ranging from Hubbard House, the domestic violence shelter, where an individual's value, as they would describe it, was taken from them, right? And their purpose in life was to restore their own value. And that's the words that they would use, or to protect the value of their family. Friends of mine who are CEOs, executives, they would talk about, creating greater value for their employees. And so it all came to a head during one spark. I had this large testing pool, even though I wasn't really testing it. I would walk around asking all these entrepreneurs, how do you define the value of your business? And they said, you mean what we're going to make, our profit? And I said, okay, well, that's one part of it, but what's this mean to you? What's your value to this business? And I saw this lifetime of struggle that people didn't really have a definition of value. There was no set. There's absolute value as it relates to a number and a P&L and EBITDA and all that in the business. But then there's this perceptual value, this intangible. But it's really the intangible value that drives everything forward, like what you feel, what you sense, what you put into it, why you show up. And I was like, hey, wait a minute. This is about the head and the heart. You can't go be sustainable as a business. You can't be happy and sustainable as a human being if you're not doing the things you got to do, making the dollars you got to make, staying healthy, taking care of your body weight, taking care of your mental health, all that, the physical stature and mental stature of your body. But then also there's what you feel. And so I realized at that moment that the wrong definition of value is it's about what we do. And the truth is nobody cares what you do. Nobody cares what you do. They don't care that you're a podcast host. They don't care that you're a CEO. They don't care that you're a doctor until they need that doctor, until they enjoy that podcast. But if
can I interject a little question here?
Yeah.
Why is it that one of the first things people do when they meet each other for the first time and dinner or whatever, meet a new friend or a friend of a friend or whatever, and one of the first top 3, I'll say top 10 questions is, so what do you do?
Because it's what we've prescribed ourselves to be. The script has been written and defined because of work, because of what we do. Here, let me give you an example. Tracy, you've been doing how many episodes? 244, something like that? Okay, so just go with me. What's one word that most clearly defines what this podcast you think gives to your community? You create this thing, you've done it 244 times. What's one word that most clearly defines the gift that you give to the community through this podcast?
One word?
One word.
I would say clarity.
Why'd you say clarity?
Because we have a diverse audience. We have a diverse
city.
Well, not only a diverse audience, but we have a diverse number of guests. All of our guests have something to offer. So I would say clarity in the fact that I can talk to you. I can talk to somebody that's in a band. I can talk to somebody that's an actor, actress, politician. I mean, that's what my podcast is about.
And what's one word that you think most clearly defines the impact of that clarity?
Powerful.
All right. So the next time somebody says, what is it you do? You could say, oh, I'm a podcast host. My podcast is, the Contrast Project. And they're going to immediately have an idea based on whatever their perception of a podcast is and the words you've just said. But what if instead of saying that, you said, oh, what I really do, and what was your impact again? What was your impact? The one word? What did you say? Clarity. No, clarity was the word of value, but what was the impact of the clarity?
Powerful.
Power. Okay. So, well, what I do is I deliver clarity to my community that empowers them and creates more power and powerful things in the community.
That's such a really good framing.
Because here's the thing. Our job as human beings is not to give everybody the answers. Our job is to ask things and provoke thought that drives somebody else to say, well, how do you do that? Because once you say, how do you do that? You're inside the circle. When you went to Disney for the first time, you said, how did they do that? The first magic show you saw, you were like, how did he do that? Or how did she do that? When there's a great moment, you go, oh my God, how did they do that? But what we try to do when it comes to value is we try to give everybody a laundry list so they don't miss anything. We remove imagination. But the true thing is, what we really want to know is, we want to know what's behind the curtain. And so that's why I do the work I do. Every human being has greater value. You are giving me value by me being here tonight. I'm hopefully creating some value. Together, we're creating value. The listener's going to go tell somebody about this show, and that's going to create value. But it has nothing to do with it. It was the fact that it was a podcast. That was just a medium. And so that's why we've got the wrong definition of value, because we talk about what it is, and it's in its absolute form. But really, it's the head and the heart. It's about the impact. And so if you can get people to understand the impact, and you can understand the impact up here in the head, we get stronger, faster, smarter, better. But the feeling and the emotion that's connected to that, I always tell people, and I'll shut up about it, but every spreadsheet has a heartbeat, and every heartbeat has a spreadsheet. $1 gets you something, and I realize that. But the value of the dollar is really what all the work is that gets up to that dollar, and then what the dollar then creates. And so that's it. And so if I can lift the world and reshape how we define value through the head and the heart, and not make it feel a bunch of mushy tushy stuff, then my time on this earth will be well served.
Well, let me ask you this: if there's one question, after telling us that, if there's one question, Al, that everyone should ask themselves today, what is it? What do you think it is, and why?
Oof! Wow. The one question everybody should ask themselves, honestly, I think it's the word. It's the question I already asked you, but it's to look inside. So we live in a me, we, and us world, right? The world looks at it, says us, we, me, meaning it's about the bigger picture, then the unity, and then the individual. But it's actually inverted, because if Jim ain't right for Jim, let me say it another way: when Jim is his best version of Jim, then this podcast gets better, just like when Tracy's the best version of Tracy, right? So the individual at a better state makes the team a better state, and the team makes the community a better state. And so I think the question we need to start with is understanding our own value. And the way we do that is we start by saying, what's one word that most clearly defines our own value to our world? That's the conversation starter. Because if I asked you, how do you define your value? It's like 18 lanes of traffic. It's like, oh my God, what do you mean? But if you have to think about one word, it's your brain has to make a decision. I mean, there's neuro stuff going on and cognitive stuff, which we don't have time to get into. But at the end of the day, just like you, Tracy, had to sit there and think, wow, what's the one word that defines this show? When we stop and think about that, that would be the question. What's one word that most clearly defines your value as an individual to this world? And know that you're never wrong, and you can always add more words. But you have to then follow that up with, why did you choose that word? Because if I say banana, Jim may hear banana, and Tracy may hear tomato. So when you go why, that kind of qualifies it, and it forces your brain to kind of critically go, all right, I see this. And I see that happen all the time. But that's the question.
Very good. Jim?
Yes, sir.
Oh, we'll go deep, man. I mean, I can go light. I mean, we can zoom back out. I mean, did you just get a new graphics machine and you're just playing randomly with shit?
I love your logo.
Thank you.
I will tell you, I know what Jim is doing. Jim is about
promoting.
a half hour. He's about a half hour into a couple of gummies.
Not tonight, buddy.
Thank you for that. I love that logo too. It's funny. Ron Hubbard, I love Ron Hubbard. You can check him out at Hubbard Creative, Ron Hubbard Design. He's designed so many logos for me over the years. The value mapping logo, the barge logo, other stuff. But I actually was like, I need something together that I can whip together for my keynote speaking, separate from value mapping, because I do a lot of keynote stuff now. And he made it better, but I started this in
I like that. I like that. That's a nice logo.
Well, it feels like me because that's out, right? That was a logo that's like, it's not pretentious. It's kind of simple. It's got a little bit of goofy to it, but it's also there. So
well, it's really good. And there's black and white versions too that look great as well.
Well, thank you. Thank you for that.
There he goes with that radio voice.
What am I looking at over here?
Oh man, that was a great experience. I got the beautiful opportunity. So my passion is nonprofits. I've had the blessing over my life to work with so many different ones, being a brand spokesman for the MS Society, working with Hubbard House, American Diabetes, tons of others. YMCA is one of my favorite organizations in the world. And so I was delivering the keynote to a young professionals conference for the YMCA. And so that is from the December 2024 conference that they had. And thank you to Eric Mann and all the folks from that. So
I like that.
That's really great.
Yeah, they were a great group of people.
That leads me into my next question. Sure. Let's talk about your legacy. Okay. When people hear the name Al Emerick 50 years from now, what do you want them to think?
I want them to think of a reshaping of how the world defines value that meant that people realized their greater contribution to the world. I want them to think kindness. I want them to think that together we are better, and that value is meant to be shared. That's what I want them to think.
Better together. I love, that was the whole point of All the Angels Come.
Oh, totally.
It was all about better together.
Your show, Jim. Like, I think, honestly, dude, I think that's the thing that together binds us. And I literally, no shit, just realizing this in this moment, all these different years, the stem that connects us is you've always sought others to do things with, to collab with. I was a spokesman. I did things, but I always wanted others with me. The things I do, it's like, it's so much better with somebody else, not just because it's better to enjoy it, just like you and Tracy, right? It's like Tracy could have just kept floating and doing his own thing and rising, but he gets so much more and gives so much more. And that's, dude, especially now in our world, right? It's like, it's not me, it's we, and then we is a better us. And that's the whole thing.
Oh, I like that. We is definitely a better us.
Well, and I believe, Tracy, to know me is to know somebody who's like, I'm that ride or die person to a fault. I'm probably overly, passionate about some of the things I bring to the table, but I'm transparent and in that, look, man, if we're going to do this, it's 120%. It's all in. And by the way, when I shake your hand, when I look you in the eye and I say, I got you, I freaking got you. And if we did that more, like we got each other, dude, that's how you lift each other up. That's how you make really amazing things happen in the world.
I was raised by a man that totally believed in the handshake. And I still believe in the handshake. You gotta have a handshake. And even if, and I'll take it even further. And not only the fist bump, but going with the handshake. Over the years, I have had a lot of female business partners, and we always had that handshake. And we talked to each other. It didn't matter, just because there was a difference in gender. We were equals. We were always partners.
Good. That's So it should be,
I think
man.
when you collaborate with people, you collaborate with people that you trust, and you know they have skills, and then you just let them loose and not control anything, and just let them do their best at what they do. And they may not turn out the way you expected, but so what? You know,
Well,
sometimes it's a surprise. Sometimes, you know, that's what we did with all the angels here, Al. I went to one rehearsal. I didn't direct Barbara to do anything. She helped me learn how to write the script, but for the play, that you know, I loved being surprised, and it was great because everybody just did their thing.
Yeah.
Well, when you have a world where people are able to, well, this goes back to your question, Tracy, about value. When we have healthier, more efficient conversations to more quickly understand the value that each person brings beyond what they do, right? When people realize, oh, Tracy can do a podcast, but no, really what this guy's about is the impact and the clarity, then I know that I've got a clarity catalyst, if you will. I've got a person who focuses on clarity on my team. When I know that Jim's on the room, Jim is going to be the person that hugs the room and brings it together, right? So what we do and the skills we have, that's a small percentage. It's what is the real value that somebody brings beyond just those skill sets, and things get done better. That's how you build great company. That's what I work with when I talk with CEOs and leaders. It's like, you can look at a resume and you can talk about their values. That's a whole separate conversation. But what is the real intrinsic value that that person brings to the table? Then you start making good things happen. That's when communities grow. Yeah. You get, anyway. So
what, like, you have a book coming out this year, right?
Yeah. So I don't have a published date yet, but it will be a hybrid publishing with Raven Publishing Company. Jennifer Grace and her partner Raven, dear, wonderful people who I've met along the way. And I have had a lifetime of this book in my head. It doesn't have a title yet, but it will be out either towards the end of summer or early fall. And it is a journey through how to reshape how we define value. And it is part a journey of story, part a model for how to use this tool in the world. But it's also includes, to what we just talked about, Jim, collaborations with other people who along the way have contributed to the value in my world. And then some humor and jokes and links to cool stuff. I want the book to be an interactive experience, an immersive experience. And then that hopefully will launch some other opportunities to kind of spread the message and the gospel, if you will, of value.
So I gotta ask Al this question. Can you tell us about your 1 degree of separation from, I don't know, what's the brown one, the red one?
I'm a type 1 diabetic, and this is my vice. M&Ms. I do prefer the peanuts. My father, Bob Emerick, Robert Emerick with a K, as he used to be called, was back in the 50s the first voice of M&Ms. And super quick story, one of the coolest of ever. I had old recordings of my dad. I knew what he sounded like. But in 2000, I think 14, I'm watching the Food Channel. I'm cleaning my house. And the next thing I know, I turn to the TV because I heard my father. Now, my dad died. My dad died when I was 5. So I'm like, did I just die? And I look, and the Food Channel was doing a special on famous Halloween candies, the top selling candies of all time, of which M&M's was one of them. Plus it was Mars Candies 75th anniversary. And they were rerunning a commercial, and it was my dad.
That's awesome.
I literally stopped, dropped, called my sister and said, I just saw Dad on TV. And she was like, you're high. And I'm like, no.
You're fucking kidding me.
It was cool. It was so cool. It was so cool.
Any big gigs coming up?
No, I mean, not immediately. I've got a bunch in the year. Actually, no, that's true. I'm speaking. I don't know if this is time stamped or whatever, but in June, I'm giving the keynote at the MS Dinner of Champions which is an incredible program. I've also am doing a Rotary event. I'm speaking for the Women's Business Society coming up. So those are cool events. Got a podcast launching too. Yeah.
Well,
That's right.
Al, put us on your calendar so that we know where you're going to be. And before we go out, I would like to share something with you.
Please.
I do, in fact, have a leather wallet for my passport, and I don't think that's too bougie.
No, I think it's sexy as hell, and it demonstrates you're a man of class. I mean, other than the hat you're wearing, which says, "Oh my God, that man has definite style. Look at his hat.
He's got it."
That's right. Your glasses are amazingly dashing too.
There's no competing with him in terms of glasses.
No. And from what I hear off mic, you got a pretty good sock collection too.
Yeah. I do. And ties.
I'd love to come back and have you on our podcast.
I never wear my ties on the show, though. I should. But
you got cool t-shirts.
Start doing that.
You got cool t-shirts.
Oh, Northside.
Hey, can I plug the podcast super quick? Do we have time?
You can. Go ahead.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So June 3rd, The Complexity of Toilet Paper with my dear friend Phyllis Martin, lives in Charleston, South Carolina, Mark Pollock up in Fernandina. We all three overthink stuff. And we said, let's put together a show that breaks apart why we make things so complex. And it's called The Complexity of Toilet Paper. We invite guests in the stall to unpack really, really complicated stuff so that we can help other people simplify their life. So
I would like to invite people into the stall every now and again.
Tracy, I think our purpose is slightly different. No shit.
I can think of a couple of people I'd invite into the stall.
Yeah, but would you give them any toilet paper? I mean, that's the question.
Yeah.
This has been fun, man. I would love to come back, and you guys are doing not only a community service, but you're adding clarity. I love that because people get varying perspectives, and the shows and the people you've had on, from Maul to Eden, the political folks you've had on, you're fearless in asking the questions, and I'm just honored to have been a part for the journey, man. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Guys, we will see you on the next journey.
Sounds good to me. I think I took a lot away on this one.
Well, that's a wrap. Another fantastic episode of the podcast. You can find us on all the social media platforms, wherever you surf, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter X, Threads, wherever. Don't forget to like, share, and comment. And on our YouTube channel, don't forget to like, share, comment, and smash that subscribe button. If you're streaming audio for the podcast, you can find us wherever you get your favorite podcast programs. In the meantime, I like to tell everybody, take care of yourselves and each other. Until next time, peace.